I'm going to quickly give you an overview of DrugCentral 2021, and later in the breakout session, Jamie Halls will provide additional information such as the database schemata and how to run specific SQL queries. So as you go to the DrugCentral website, this would be your entry page. So it gives you ideas on how to search by drug name or by target name or even pharmacological action. And you would have then the ability to, for example, find out how to cite this data resource. There are 3 papers at the moment in nucleic acids research. If you click on the About page, the resource gives you an idea about the contributors to the database, but also gives you some summary statistics. So for example, because DrugCentral only indexes approved drugs, it will then give you an idea of the number of active ingredients. So we currently have 4,700 such ingredients. And it also interfaces with DailyMed. And from DailyMed, we extract products which can then be separated in prescription only or over the counter. So these are some summary statistics. And you can see, for example, from 1939 onwards, the drug approval all the way up to year 2021. So the latest update of DrugCentral ends with June 2021. It further illustrates over-the-counter versus prescription drugs, also by efficacy targets. So this would then link to a paper that we co-authored in Nature Drug Discovery in 2016. So it gives you a breakout of the current target statistics, FDA Orange Book market exclusivity applications, which even allows you to run searches by table. So if you're interested in a specific drug, this is another way to run your queries specifically for Orange Book data. One drug that's of interest to many people. So I've already done a search for remdesivir, and for example, it will tell you that the chemical structure, so you can look at the chemical structure. There's some chemical properties as well as additional information. So for example, this drug is on patent, which would not surprise many people. The next type of information that's available for remdesivir as well as many other drugs is FDA adverse event reporting systems, which are separated by sex. So we extract the data from FHIRs and we present it differently. And in many cases, this type of information differs from male to female. The other thing we have is chemical ontology. So I'm quickly scrolling down the page of remdesivir, but once you look at the adverse events, you can also look at ontology. There is drug use, which in this case only has the indication and the off-label use. The off-label use, of course, in this case is pretty much the same, but they often differ. And of course, there would be, for many drugs, there would be contraindications as well. It's just that for remdesivir, this was not listed in the target. There's also in the drug label. There's pKa calculations coming from a software called Mocha, and then additional information, for example, the formulation strength. So the drug is approved under the trade name Veklury from Gilead Sciences, et cetera, et cetera. So all this wealth of information is available. And if you click on the human prescription drug label, this will take you straight to DailyMed. And in the interest of time, I'm not going to click on that. But we also index for text mining all the sections in text format from the drug label. If you were to search, for example, for a drug that's more popular, I just picked atropine. So it will tell you that you have things like atropine oxide, atropine, methylatropine, hyoscyamin, which is actually a derivative of atropine. It's like one of the, it actually says it's an isomer of atropine. And then, of course, there would be additional entries on the list. These are featured because most likely there is a text mind feature that in that entry suggests either that you should not combine this drug with atropine, or perhaps that it is frequently combined with atropine. It is up to the individual user to figure that out. But obviously, if I were to click on this, it would basically give me the drug card for that specific drug. Another way to search is to search by a disease term. I picked asthma because it's a very rich term. It has many, many entries. They are ranked by indication first. So the ones you see on the top, like from theophylline, salmeterol, zafirlukast, dexamethasone, all these are drugs that are currently indicated in asthma. And as you continue to keep searching, at some point you get into things like beta blockers, which would be further down the list, and those would be contraindicated. And there are also drugs that are off-label used for asthma. So again, this is a way to sort the information. If you want more precision, it would be encouraged to select the PostgreSQL system, so you can actually run the query with the more fine-tuned information. Another way to search is by target. So I picked a generic term, beta-adrenergic. I did not specify beta-2 adrenergic. You could search by gene name or by UniProt ID. Just beta-adrenergic selects all the targets that are related to beta-adrenergic. So in this case, norepinephrine, of course, works across all the adrenergic systems. This one is a beta-adrenergic agonist, etc. One of the apps that's available in DrugCentral is L1000 profile. So if you click here, there's about 1,600 drugs that are available. I already tried remdesivir. It's not on the list, so it would not auto-suggest it. But let's say I pick toremifen, and then I can find that toremifen has a very similar, in 15 cell lines, it has a similar gene profile signature with raloxifene. And if I click on the two, then it tells me, for instance, that in the breast cancer cell line, the correlation between the two is quite high. And this would not be surprising. For instance, both of these drugs are actually estrogen receptor antagonists. So it's not surprising that they work well in breast cancer. And I am now hindered by the screen sharing up. So apologies for that. I just wanted to go to Redial. So this is the last app I wanted to share with you. It's a app that was co-developed with a group of Sumant Sirimola at UTEP. And essentially, it has a workflow here that illustrates what it does. So you can start with a SMILES or a drug name or a DrugCentral ID. It will then convert it and run machine learning calculations across 11 different properties that relate to so in the interest of time, again, I'm just going to submit remdesivir to the portal. Hopefully, because I'm sharing the screen, you can actually see the pop-up. This is a live prediction. And I'm not sure if it's working. It should be, but oh yeah. So it just calculated across different systems. It tells me log P and log solubility, the chemical structure of remdesivir with the proper chirality, etc. And then these are the different SARS-CoV-2 activities, as well as one particular target that's in the host protein, which is the sigma receptor. And in this case, it suggests that it has no activity on the sigma receptor. That is a prediction. As far as I know, nobody has tested this drug on that particular target. On the other hand, because we already know that this compound has already been tested, because it has the Tanimoto similarity of 1, it extracts the data out of the NCAT system and it tells you its activity according to the different data that were extracted. So hopefully this gives you a very quick tour of DrugCentral, and I encourage you to go to the breakout session to learn more about how to use this resource. And I will stop here. Thank you. Thank you.